Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for FLR. Now, before I get into this count, just want to talk about last video. I posted this right at the beginning of August, I think, and I was looking for this to complete as an ending diagonal for a WXY at the 1.618 extension at 1.4 cents-ish area. Now let's go with what we actually ended up having here, so we can compare how our counts ended up filling out. Not ideal, as you can see. Target reached, but not ideal. Not the pattern we are looking for a diagonal. So I've mentioned this pretty much every FLR video, that it is extremely difficult when all we have are three-wave patterns to work with. So I haven't even moved these. So we'll do a quick analysis and see if a possible bottom is in. Now the first thing you want to do is look at shape. Yeah, that's not good. So the only way I would consider this complete right now is if we had kind of a very small correction for our wave 4 to get that overlap with wave 1, and some throw over for our wave 5. You can see that's not ideal either. You're not going to get any high probability counts on this zone. You're dealing with a lot of three-wave WXYs, and in diagonals you can get single, double, or triple zigzags, right? So it's very difficult to count. That's why I rely on fibs for the most part. So what I don't like is if I count it this way, we didn't reach the 618 retracement, extension, of wave 1 off of wave 2. You know, I usually look between the 618 and the 786. So that is a negative towards the fact that this is a completed correction. What I wanted to see was this. That's what I wanted to see to complete. This is why I talk about shape a lot, because it is important. So is there any other way this can be complete if the count is inaccurate? Now the only way I could see this as complete if inaccurate is if either this is somehow a 5-wave move, which seems very unlikely, because for this to be a completed diagonal, I would most likely pull it back to this zone, right? Where we end up getting a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with throw over. That has the better shape. But the issue with that is the only way we can have 5 waves to end here, starting from this X wave, is if this is a 5-wave pattern, and then we'd have a zigzag. Reason being, the only way that can be a 5-wave move is if we have a flat, but that has to reach at least the 90% retracement, which you can see we didn't get. So this is why this area is so difficult. So that pretty much invalidates that scenario. So let's take a look at this wave down at the bottom here. I just prefer to do this in real time. So we'll get rid of counts there. Yeah, that doesn't even look like a 5-wave. It looks like a very standard ABC. I got to categorize all these. Sorry, guys, they're not grouped. So ABC, ABC, ABC. Shy of the 1-to-1. We hit a 618. Yep. ABC could be a WXY, ABCX, ABC. Even this reaction off the bottom does not look impulsive. It looks 3-wave. It looks like we're dropping again. So this does not look good as a bottom. We don't have a 5-wave impulse. That's why I wanted to check this, because there obviously is a chance we had throw over in the 5th, and maybe this is just an awkward looking wave. But when you look at the evidence and look at these waves, let me just get rid of this. Sorry, don't mean to be annoying here, but want to do this in real time just to show you how I look at these things. So initially, I would say, is there a possible bottom in? We came to target, 1.618 extension, 1-to-1 for the A off the B for the C, possible with a extended fifth wave. We do have overlap, so I'd say possibly we have a low. That's what I'd look at, right? And when I say possibly we have a low, then I want to say, okay, if this low is in, then we most likely need a 5-wave impulse to get probabilities on our side that a low is in. And then we can start trending in 5 waves, right? But what I look for after that low as a potential is a 5-wave move and a 3-wave correction. That's what I want to see to get probabilities on my side, that at least this is either a wave 1, 2, or at least an A, B. So even if I'm wrong, I know I'm at least looking for a 1-to-1, right? Either way, the direction is the same. But as you can see, very unlikely that we have a 5-wave move here. So what does that tell me? That tells me that possibly we're either making a expanded diagonal, in which case that was just our 3rd wave. You can see we're still holding our trend lines. Pull that back. The 1 off the 2. These trend lines can change, obviously, depending how this 4 ends up. You can see we're more doing a channeling method rather than a contraction. Now, we can get a triangle here for a wave 4, but again, what I don't like about this is, in this case, again, we don't have to. This is just a guideline. But now our wave 4, it looks like it's unlikely to overlap with our wave 1, which we kind of want for a diagonal. And if we come up here and overlap, then we have a really expanded diagonal, right? We take from our 2 and our 4. So because of these things, I'm hesitant to give any advice, right, in this scenario. This is why sometimes I say, you know, if a coin looks like shit, why am I trying to force a trade out of it, right? Might as well just wait. Let it show us a 5-wave move on the micro, even down to the 15-minute, and take the trade from there. What I will say is I think we're most likely to come down for one more move. Perhaps we come to the 786, which is at 1.241 cents, and we just actually come to a 1.382 extension in white here for our C wave. Let's see where that puts us. That would put us right down at 1.255 cents. So maybe this A wave the C wave gets an extension down to the 1.236, which is very reasonable. So I think this is most likely a fake out. And we're going to get one more move to the downside. Whether that's a triangle, whether that's a flat, I'm not sure. But we did reach the bottom end of our trend line, which is nice. But I do want to see one more move down here. Or at least, if we do move up from here, do it in a diagonal. Because this really does look like 3 waves. As you can see, it looks like a 3-wave move. Otherwise, you'd have an extended wave 1, which is a pretty rare thing to happen. So my guess is we're most likely making a flat or a triangle wave 4. And our next move is going to be one more move. And then we can look for a nice clean impulse to the upside. Look for our correction. Buy the break of the B wave, like I always tell you to do, and play that 3rd wave up. And that could be the absolute low of FLR. But as of right now, I don't see a bottom in. The only way I would consider that is if this is a wave 1. Looks like we need one more pip down here. This could be our wave 2, 3, 4, 5. We make a diagonal. Again, this would eat up a lot of time, and I would just look for an entry over here after this pattern fills out. We've already invalidated a 1-2-1-2. We've broken below that. So no rush for this coin. I see either a diagonal playing out on the long term and we had that weird throw over for wave 5, or we're going to make one more low down to 1.255 cents or lower before we attempt another move to the upside. Now, it's important to note this isn't necessarily bearish. We are looking for the next move to the upside after, to all-time highs, potentially. So worth waiting for. I'm going to wait for a completed look, or at least a 5-wave move off the low before I'm interested in flare. This is just the way it goes sometimes, guys. I see no signs of a bottom currently. Wish I had better news. It just is what it is. I shoot it straight. This is not FOMO against your coin or FUD against your coin. This is just what the charts are telling me. All right, guys, that's it for flare. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.